Let's just talk about the generational shifts that are going on, right? So, I was joking about TikTok and how you shouldn't get financial information from TikTok, but I know there's a lot of people who might be a little bit younger than me that would deeply, deeply disagree and be maybe offended, right? There's some folks who are saying that people who are like 33 to 45, like they might be the new boomers, and folks in that age range, and I'm on the later end of it, might be unfair to the generation that is coming up. So what are your thoughts?
It might be unfair to the boomers, bro. Like, what did these niggas have to go through for real? And then they looked at us, you know what I'm saying, with all this advancement and ease of access and things like that, and we're not doing certain things that they felt were standardized in making it in society, right? And so I want to give grace to the boomers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As I also want to give grace to ourselves, because we're looking at these corny ass TikTok dances and it's like, what are y'all doing?
Right.
Because like we're outside looking at you looking goofy outside. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But for them,
Yeah.
they built deep community online. You know what I'm saying? Like they're touching millions of people genuinely with their content and their art and their perspective. And so, I do think that we need to have more grace for the generation coming behind us.
Yeah, I can feel
regardless of how corny I feel these niggas really are.
Yeah. That was low-key grace, not grace. That was the most interesting shady grace.
Right. That was a dad take. I have a 19-year-old. So
a little shady grace. I kind of feel like it's appropriate for you to play your role. Sure. Like the corniest thing to me is the old dude in the club, right? Like I'm 45. There are things that there are things that are inscrutable about youth culture to me, right? And I think that that's appropriate, right? And I think every generation plays their role. It's appropriate for young people to do things that make me at 45, like, have my brain explode because I don't understand it. And that's just, to me, naturally how one generation becomes the older generation. And eventually they're going to have the same, when they are this age, they're gonna be like, I kept like, music used to mean something. Right. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say those same things. So I tend to just kind of feel like that's the natural progression. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm outside both of those. Okay. Right? So
how do you feel about us?
I think all you niggas are but it's different for me because as a Zer, so not a boomer, but my kids are millennials, and so it's like on a whole different personal. I'm not just observing it on TikTok. Yep. I'm watching it not do the dishes, right? So it's just on a whole different thing.
You wasn't doing the dishes either, bro. Stop playing with it.
No.
You wasn't out here. You was running
out the womb responsible.
I know, that's another thing. As you age, you begin to tell new stories. It's like, we walked 500 miles a day. It's like, no, you didn't. It never happened.
But the boldness of these kids to be like, Mom, you really didn't.
I know. They're like, no,
you didn't do that. I saw a video of a young man talking to his mom, and she was like, Mom, your Nana would spank me for this, and you're getting so much passion. He's like, but Mom, that's traumatizing. Let's talk about your trauma. She's like,
let's unpack this.
It was a little trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids have, they're lit, bro.
But I mean, one thing I can say is that I'm really proud of this younger generation for how they're taking to their responsibility and their responsibilities to be in solidarity politically. All of the Gaza protests, all of the protests around the movement for Black Lives, all that was millions of young people agitating our society to be better. And so, there are certain things that I don't completely understand and I will never understand, but I'm also really inspired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
I'm super inspired too, like the whole solidarity piece and like their ability to take on an issue, break down an issue, and organize and show up around it in a genuine way is something truly to be respected. And I also think about concerns or frustrations that previous generations have with current ones. It's like, all right, well, we got to consider the foundation that we set for this generation to exist. Like, well, what things have we done that led to it? I mean, one of my biggest gripes is just the consumption, just social media screen time, like it's wild. But that was also us, especially, it was new technology that we embraced, and now it seems like the only thing that's powering the next generation. That's just what scares me, and that's not a them problem.
No.
I hope we made you proud. We brought the heat today. Let us know how you feel in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, tap in.